share my screen. Can you see my screen? Oh, hold on.
Yes.
Yes, but I need to put on PowerPoint, slideshow. Okay. So hello everyone today. Welcome to the third seminar of our STRIDE project. And as you know, our STRIDES is called Systemic, Transformative and Resilient Interventional Drivers for Education for Sustainability. It is a part of our network, Global Sustainable Futures Progress through Partnerships. And so today's agenda is about, I will go through my position paper, part 1, and explain further how I have developed questionnaire to gather case studies. And that is a very interesting thing which I want you all to contribute. And please feel free to chat among yourself and introduce yourself using the chat function, and always write your name, contact details, and other information so that others can contact you and can reach out to you. So then we will follow up with the discussion on how we can go forward with our proposal, as well as what do you feel about my questionnaire to collect case studies. And later on, we will be closing the meeting. So as you know, that COVID pandemic and the current situation has changed the global risk landscape, and risks have been reprioritized, and new risks have emerged, and the others have been intensified. This was reported by the Global Risk Report 2021. And this risk has widened. This risk include that widened inequalities in almost all areas. The societal fragmentation has manifested increased societal challenges and emerging global risk to human health, increasing unemployment, widening digital divides, and young disillusionment. And this has compounded into economic, environmental, geopolitical, and technical risk. So the World Economic Forum Global Risk Perception Survey results 2020-21 has highlighted that there will be a radically alteration into global risk, especially into human-led environmental degradation risk, including extreme weather conditions, climate action failure, human-made damage, and biodiversity loss, and in societal health, including infectious diseases. So, and predominantly, the climate change is still an existing threat to humanity. And the first half of this 2020 did show some decrease in such as like 9% due to the COVID-19 lockdown in most economies. However, this decrease may not repeat year by year, and it will, if only it repeats year by year, then there is a possibility of limiting global warming to 1.5 degree centigrade. So we know that we have to be collectively contributing to these efforts going beyond pandemic. And what we need, that we must, as we emerge from the pandemic, we must have clean growth, creating a zero carbon society, reducing social, environmental, and economic inequalities, increasing societal capacity and management capacity to address climate change. And there is also a need for societal and systemic transformation to structure the foundations of a climate resilient development pathways and achieve ambitious mitigation and adaptation targets for net zero carbon and sustainable society, net zero carbon and sustainable society in conjunction with poverty reduction, poverty eradication, and efforts to reduce inequalities. Fundamental society and systemic transformations are required. This suggests that we must change not only the methods and technology used to acquire, deliver, and exchange knowledge, but also there is a need to accelerate a wide-scale behavior changes of how to apply this knowledge, which is gathered from the formal channels or community channels or knowledge and indigenous knowledge and local knowledge, to apply this for the decision making for sustainable development goals and targets. So what is the role of education? Education is an important lever of change for sustainability. The way in which education is delivered and acquired within these formal, informal, non-formal spaces determine our ability to make decisions for sustainability and build a low carbon, climate resilience, just and inclusive society. This is why education is regarded as a critical success factor for the establishment of paths that provide training for individuals who understand the reality in more systemic, integrated, inter and transdisciplinary way, contributing to the sustainability paradigm. Moreover, the World Economic Forum has identified top 15 emerging skills, which also demand structural, technological, and methodological adjustments and reorientation of all educational space to undergo or fulfill its function of educating towards the generation of a greater competent autonomy in reading, interpreting, and understanding the world. And under the label of global and local to global level movement, a part of things are changed. So there are some necessary changes have happened within the sustainability paradigm, and we have tackled them. However, we need to do more. Most of us, we have focused on local to global movement. However, the individuals in isolated and non-political demands, such as selective disposal, so this local sustainability deals with like isolated and non-political demands, such as selective disposal, shorter baths, and less opening to free refrigerator, and so on. However, we need to think more and get into the sensitive and complex changes, personal to inclusive political, that is attitude, behavior, or perceptions or values, and cultural, environmental, and social, and so on, bringing all the complexity from all different aspects to build sustainable societies. So accelerating excellence in educational spaces is only one aspect of the challenge. We also need to figure out how to deploy this excellence while increasing operational flexibility if the purpose is to transform the educational system. And so what exactly does it mean to accelerating excellence in education spaces? It means that we need many inclusive and equitable quality questions that needs to be answered, such as like many of primary schools why they do not have any basic hand washing facilities, or to we need to question that how we can increase operational flexibility and build low carbon, climate resilient, just and inclusive society. And also we need to understand the reality in more systemic, integrated, inter and transdisciplinary way, so that these paradigms can be, which these paradigms demand, and we can advance on them. So what are our next steps? So this is what I explained last time. However, we were discussing what could be done next. And therefore, I thought that we need to dwell into the reality check, that what is happening. And this will serve as a starting point. We need to invite challenge owners, system thinkers, innovators, practitioners, investment professionals, ecosystem shapers, and creative voices to join us and figure out how to deploy this knowledge capital in pursuit of the greatest ambitions we hold for our future. And therefore, I suggested that we collect some case studies, such as, these are only few examples of case studies where we could highlight, or we may find some distinct characteristics, such as online education, lifelong education, outdoors environmental education, or whole institutional systemic approach to education, holistic education, community education, and so on. This could be just the characteristics of any case study. And so we need to look into these case studies, which are in various environments and in very diverse disciplines, to understand how we can achieve a system where we can learn, teach, and exchange knowledge, which would allow us to be delivering excellence in knowledge. And so what should we be looking for? So here are a few examples of questions which we might be looking for. So how that particular education system, that is the case study we have identified, stand today. We need to look into its future also, whether it is needed and what future looks in there. And what are the transition pathways we may take to achieve that? Or how the education system could mobilize the knowledge capital in service of this sustainability transition, both from the individual perspective, institutional perspective, as well as from the global sustainable development goals perspective. And how we can build this strategic portfolio of assets that unlocks synergies from combinational effects in the wider societal well-being. These are a few examples of how we can dwell into these case studies and try to identify, synthesize some good approaches. And therefore, I asked everyone to look into innovative case studies in education for sustainable development for STRIDES project. But as I found that few people are struggling, I have now developed a survey questionnaire, and which would make it very easy for us to comply some of these case studies. And now I will share my questionnaire. And these are the people who are joining us in this STRIDE project. So I will stop sharing my presentation and share my questionnaire. Okay, hold on. Uh, all right, yes. So these are the innovative case, this topic of this survey will be innovative case studies or advances in education for sustainable development for Strides project. Now, this is just now in a word form, and I'm trying to put into the survey where I will then share the link for you. So this is, I'm just putting some introduction to Strides project in the first page, where I have said that the Strides, that is systemic, transformative, and resilient interventional drivers for education for sustainability, project part 1 explores the grand challenge, transforming the educational system in which we learn, teach, and exchange knowledge. So I have given some abstract type of here note for part 1. And what I'm saying, and this actually Charles has helped me develop. He is from Zimbabwe. So thank you, Charles. Part 1 research findings substantiate the need for repurposing education in learning institutions for sustainable societies and climate change. This is a call for unfolding from the simple to the complex based on grounded theoretical framework that for education to be meaningful and relevant. A society should be able to fight risk as the recent COVID-19 pandemic. The framework of current education seems to be operating at strategic level without the bottom-up approach that can leave no one behind. The great thinking at the strategic level leads to numerous changes of policies in educational system, institutions, and poor education, however, because of slow implementation process which are overtaken by events. To address human needs within the context of promoting a positive attitude towards climate change, this research suggests an all-inclusive approach rather than the existing fragmented one, which does not seem so much palatable. Thus, the scope of the future desired state is an envisaged approach to reduce all externalities on the environment through application of technical and vocational educational system that must be inherent in all communities across the globe. Human capital development is key to the transformational processes in which every society needs to implant human-centered designs to address their needs within the scope of appropriate technology and cultural dimensions. Thus, internationalization of the educational process is in line with sustainable development goals, may help to build the desired strategies to embrace the future within the mind that supports sustainability and climate change. So now I come into the part 2, developing and demonstrating and scaling a novel approach to leveraging systems transformation in educational spaces is a complex challenge. Script and structure interface have a beneficial effect on the grounding discussion or in other types of complex problem solving. Therefore, in the initial phase, this study follows a journey of exploration and discovery, a systematic inquiry of what is possible, probable, and preferable. This project serves as the starting point. So educators, system thinkers, innovation practitioners, change makers, and creative voices all are invited to join in figuring out how to deploy excellence in educational space while increasing operational flexibility in the pursuit of what we hold for the future sustainable education and societal systems. So this part, further, I continue with part 2, and here the real questionnaire starts. Part 2 will comply innovative case studies or advances in education for sustainable development. You are welcome to provide inputs on what the latest innovative case studies are and advances are within the education in learning institutions for sustainable societies and climate change. So in this part 2, the objective is to highlight the latest innovative case studies or advances across discipline to identify systematic, transformative, and resilient interventional drivers for education for sustainability. To synthesize, so the synthesis will be based on, or is based on later on, that is based on the contribution. So I will have to change this in future tense. Will be based on the contribution from multiple expert stakeholders, inputs from all active researchers, educators, and so on. So please share here what you view as 1.1 to 3 most innovative case studies or advances in your overarching field of research in recent times, and key articles and reports highlighting them. To consider a given topic, you are requested a minimum of 1 paper supporting advances. So you may also declare your interest in contributing as a co-author of the adjoining peer review paper. So if your responses are long, you may write in a separate document and copy the text in the survey so that it would avoid any mishaps in saving on your form. So here, this is the title. And then what I have done here, so innovative case study advance or advances 1. Now, when I mentioned about the case studies, I think people understood that the case study within they are involved or within they have seen or something. But I completely agree that we may not be involved in any such case study. And so it would be difficult for us to come up with any case study. So what I was interested that you can search within any literature and especially within your field. So for example, here we have Carla and she is in economics. Then you can find out that is there any innovative case study or advances in economic field and how it is taught or how the learning and delivery of that knowledge is taking place. And if you come across some sort of any innovative type of teaching, which is not common elsewhere, and you think that, yes, this will lead to, and you will try to question that case study through the questions which I have already given in the presentation, saying that whether this is a good practice, whether it will allow us to advance in excellence, providing some excellence in our educational system or such that. And if you find any 1 or 2 or 3 criteria that would think that, okay, this is really good, this is a good practice, it will allow people to understand maybe climate change, maybe sustainable development goals, any of the sustainable goals, and so on. So like leading that knowledge to that sustainable goal development, looking at that our all what we have done in part 1 and what we are trying to look. And if you have think that that paper has some example of innovative case study, then you write down here the bullet point. So for example, here I have written, online education found to be more accessible to wider audience than previously thought and is flexible, inclusive, and encouraging than brick and mortar college and universities. So I am trying to put that online education is one of the innovative case study and like advance in our educational system, and that will serve us some advantages, taking our educational system towards providing some excellence learning and teaching environment. And that is what I mean to say. So just put some phrases or a small bullet point to show that you are talking about this topic. And then you put down the reference article where you found this case study and the topic. Okay, so I'm not asking you to write down the whole thing, but you may find one. So it is like reviewing literature, but you are just writing about it and saying that, okay, this is a good literature, good article, good report telling something about innovative case study or advances in education. And then you write down here the reference of that article where you found this point. And then if you want to discuss this point, which will go in question 5. So here again, we have another second reference. So if you think that you have support of one or three articles, that means to make our case more substantial, to bring more support to our case. So for example, online learning, I might find 3 articles who are supporting these, what I have written. Then I will write down here references of these 3 articles here. And then I will put some further comments, which I think might be useful for us to write down and explain why we think that this point is important. And that is how I want you to do. So it's a small work, it is not asking for a huge amount of work, but it will be enough for us to understand why that case study. And here, when you are explaining the comments or for the reference, I would ask you to go back to those questions and try to answer those questions depending on your case study. And also looking into the article. What does that article say? And you can have a small short paragraph of just like a literature review when we do or annotation of one article. Okay, and that is what I want you to do. So I have made 3 innovative case study advances. So each person can contribute to 1 to 3 points and explain like that. So these are just repeating in 3.3. So this is innovative case study or advances 3. This is innovative case study and advances 2. And that is how I want to develop a stock of some innovative case studies. And then finally, I am asking, because you have done some contribution towards this, I want you also to be a part of the authors list here. And therefore, I am asking that if you want to co-author, so whatever you have explained in this longer discussion, we can then tailor it depending on our requirement into our paper. And so then you can have your first name, family name, title, scientific field in which you are working, email address, and then affiliation. And would you consider to be co-author? Then you can say yes, so that there would be a scope if you want to add something more later on. And also you can then, maybe we can, when the paper is already ready, would you like to peer review it internally? So that is what we are asking here. And then could you consider acting as a reviewer? So that is here one I'm asking as a co-author, and then here reviewer. And then this is what I will be asking in the questionnaire. And I hope through this questionnaire, I have made some easy method to collect our innovative case studies. And therefore, I will stop here now and I will open the floor for questions and discussions. Okay, thank you very much for listening to me. And now I invite you to ask me question. And Nisa BC has already asked us a question. Please, where will the research be published? Research will be published in a journal article, but we will look into when it is ready to see which proper journal article, definitely at an international level and a very good one, we will publish there. Okay. Yes. Any questions? Yes, Elio?
I'd like to ask if the innovative cases that we will share can be developed by us. For example, I work with this education for sustainability since my graduation. I'm studying more and more about education for sustainability on my master's degree, and on my PhD thesis, I decided, whoa, this is what I would like to research for the rest of my life. So I published a couple of papers. I have not a huge knowledge like, for example, Professor Irene, but I'm pretty sure that I learned a lot of things and innovative things through my PhD thesis. So I'd like to ask if I can fill the questionnaire with some innovative research that myself I'm developing.
Yes, of course, Elio. That would be really, really good contribution, because that is your own contribution. And I want something like that, definitely. You are welcome to do that. That will be a real asset for our project, you know. And that is what I'm asking. But what I thought, that everyone may not have this, their own case study, and therefore I have developed this questionnaire. And within this questionnaire, you also have a place to write, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether it is your own or others. And that is why I thought that I should make it easier, because when I said case studies, everyone thought that, okay, it might be my case study and I have not done anything like that, or I have not been involved, and that might not allow them to contribute to this project. And therefore I'm asking, we need to be wider, and we need to be coming, we want examples from several disciplines to understand what is actually going on in our education system. So it could be medical, it could be engineering, it could be social science, it could be anything, lifelong learning, it could be anything, vocational courses. And that is what I'm looking for. So thank you very much. I will look forward from you to your own case study and explanation and so on. So thank you very much. Nisa Abisi is saying, what is the deadline for contribution of case studies? Okay, that is a difficult question. I would say I would only want, we will give, what we will do, we will give 2 weeks first. We will see how many people contribute. We can always extend another 2 weeks. We will see what is our status. And we will go like that. We'll be flexible, definitely. So for now, we can say 2 weeks, but we are open for any, time, because it may happen that we may do one paper, but there could be a scope of another paper. And what is the intention here? As we go with the project, now, with my first paper, let me tell me about my first paper, this position paper. This position paper already has like 70% of things which can be populated very easily, transferred as a publication. Okay. And therefore, I want you to contribute to my position paper also. What do you think, or something like that? Just as what Charles has done, and I'm going to co-author him there. And once I get enough words of like 8,000 words, I will be publishing that paper. So what I want multiple benefits from our project. It is definitely our capacity development, but it is our capacity development will be we can show people only by having some products, and our papers will be our products. I want you to write down the papers, contribute to the papers, as well as whatever you are learning here, I want you to contribute as a blogs, as a social media, and so on. And that only will show our impact in wider world. And so whatever you think, oh, I have this smallest idea, if it is a smallest idea, write down as a social media post. If it is slightly bigger, then write down as a blog. And if it is really nice and academic, then write down as a publication. So contribute as much as you can to these type of things, and we will definitely have a huge, huge impact in the wider world. Okay. So yes, so first I will put down as a 2 weeks so that people can get some thinking, and then it is always a good idea to extend. So don't worry about getting challenged by the time or something. You can always write me saying, okay, we are still in process, let us increase some time. And we can increase it, okay? And as soon as I get some feedback on my survey, I will try to compile, synthesize. And in this synthesis also, I will need some help. And if anyone wants that to help me out, definitely, so that we can contribute and I'm open to ideas. And I want everyone to be co-author. Doesn't matter if we have 20 people as one paper, authors as one paper, doesn't matter. But we need to contribute, and we need to show a wider world that we are writing, we are doing some stuff. Okay, Nisabi is saying, okay, thanks. For now, till 20, my schedule is very tight. So I hope to work on it thereafter. Okay, that's fine. I will now say, okay, let me say end of March. All right, we will put end of March for this. So we have definitely 3 weeks. March is a longer month. And maybe we will say 4 weeks. So because in Easter holiday, someone want to grab this time to write down, then they can do that. So just until Christmas holidays, I think Christmas is 29th or something. Sorry, not Christmas, sorry, Easter, 29 or something. So definitely, I think end of the March is best time. So we will put up to end of the March, so it has a longer time and everyone can think over it and write down. And I will also ask people to listen to this and so be comfortable about what they are doing. I will also put down this in the when I'm writing you emails, and that would be also helpful for people to do it. Any questions? Adeli, how are you? And Fanen, how are you?
Adele is fine. Thank you for the presentation and hope to have a copy of it soon.
Yes, yes, certainly. I was designing the survey, but I did not complete. And so I have drafted the survey on Word file, so that I shared just now. And I will definitely share the questionnaire anytime this weekend.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. It's going to make the work more easier. And
Yes.
I like the framework of the question.
Yes, and that's why I thought about it. Yeah, thank you very much. Because if I put an open request, then people struggle what to do, why, how to do, and so on. And so I thought it would be good for us to have some structure. And I thought about it, and I think this is a really nice structure just to capture our few case studies. I would definitely like some 15 to 20 case studies to come to me, but let us hope, let us see what we can do.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. What is very, so I hope to work. Okay, that's the same thing. All right. Fanen, how are you? Not to worry.
I'm doing
Yes.
well.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I am doing very well.
Thank you. Did you
Yeah.
listen to the presentation? I mean, especially to the questionnaire.
Yes, I did.
What do you feel about it?
Yeah, I think it's okay for now. If we start looking at the case studies and if there is anything to add, then we will be able to say it out or let you
Yes,
know.
this is just two. We are going to have further steps. And I'm thinking, because I have not already set my mind with part 3 or part 4, because I want to know what is coming to us and then how to go ahead, isn't it? If we have a pre-assumptions already, then we are not doing any fair to the research. So I said, let us first collect some what is already here at the moment, and then synthesize that, and then we can think of further steps. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you.
What do you think, Carla, about this questionnaire?
Yeah, they are great questions for me. And
I think the
Thank you.
question is better for we think about the things not really together but separate, and after we can put together everything. I was thinking about my student. I'm saying, my God, it's really good idea. Make the questionnaire that is more simple for the make the ideas, and will improve when next question. And I think in the finish you can look again everything, and you can put together, and you can open new ideas and improve the write and the read things.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah, I myself was struggling actually when I asked myself how I'm going to write this innovative case study as I have requested others to do. And so I thought that, okay, let me have some structure to that, and that will help people, including myself. And here, yeah, Nisa Bizi is saying that this is a wise approach to do. Am I allowed to add more questions or sections to the questionnaire? You may not get chance to add any questions to the questionnaire, but if you have any at the moment, do you think you have any, then send it me over, then I can add it to the questionnaire. You won't be able to add anything to the questionnaire itself, but if that is about your case study or anything, then you can write down in that fourth box, fifth box, which I have said, explain your case study or explain whatever you want. So I don't know what type of question you want to add to the questionnaire itself. If you do not have idea immediately, you write down to me. So if you bring any idea, maybe within this weekend or just today, because I was trying to complete, because I have another work tomorrow, but I was trying to complete. But if you send it me over immediately, then I will be able to think and add if you want. I mean, while going through it, in case I have new idea, can I send to you to add and you add myself? Add or add myself? A new idea in what? This questionnaire is only asking you to put your ideas, and you have a space to put your ideas. But definitely, if something is related to the questionnaire itself, that we want to add some question, then you send it to me, definitely, and I will try to add them. I am slightly confused. okay, like relevant question? What type of relevant? I'm slightly confused. Are you talking about the questions in my presentation for the case study or for the questionnaire itself? Because questionnaire is just like an open notebook for you to write down something. And in that you can do whatever you want. But I'm okay. You please explain me whatever you want through email if that is easier. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Just an update that we have now 120 coordinators in our this network from 42 countries, and so that is really good. And I'm going to build on our website and other things from April 1, which is I am having some now support from my university to build a website for our network as well as strides. And so that is a good news, but it will take some time. But from 1st April, I will be working on that too. And if you see my emails, we have developed now blog site, blogs. And so you are requested to put that in, like if you want to put anything, you can send it to me and I can put it on the blog. Also, because of International Women Day, I have sent an email for others to ask. So Nisa Abby, I will ask you to send your profile and photo. Carla, I will ask you to send profile and photo to me. Some sort of anything innovative you have done, or whatever you want to write about you and your photos, so that we can do some a short newsletter on that. Okay. And Ilio, if you have some lady in mind, you can also send her photo and her bio, but you can ask that lady to become our member of the network. Then we can publish. Yeah. And Adeli and Fanan, you also are welcome to do same. Yes, Nisha Abhi has good news to share with us. Please share, please share. Okay, she has been selected for 5-year tenure as an affiliate of African Academy of Science. Well done, well done. Good. Congratulations. And so definitely I would look forward to your bio and photo, okay? And you can also, whenever you are going there, you can talk that you are representing us. You can take our network's name forward. You can invite your colleagues to join our network. Yes, definitely. Very nice. Very glad to see you, hear this. Also, we need to congratulate Carla, because I'm meeting Carla for the first time after her doctorate. So well done, Carla.
Thank you. Now I finished my doctor. I'm look for new questions in my life.
Yes, so these are the here while networking, we have this project and you have now opportunities to publish. So start publishing and it will be good for all of us.
Yes.
All right. I think we can stop here now. Anyone wants to give any comments, anything? And I will soon draft that questionnaire and send. Nisabi, I will wait for your input until this evening, and then I will finalize and send it to everyone maybe tomorrow morning. Okay? Carla, please introduce yourself. Nisabi is saying.
Yes, my name is Carla. I'm from Brazil, and I studied sanitation, and I'm economist. I have a master in economy, and my doctor is relation for development, regional development. I studied to the work people, how the, I'm sorry, my English, how money the people take about the, is different about the color, about the age and everything. I work with these two, and I work with the immigration, because I think immigration a lot in Brazil. It's just one count. I live in Ireland too, but in Brazil I immigration a lot, and I think it's good. We understand the difficulties and how change the ideas the people migration. No, Renuka is from India, knows how open the mind, immigration from another country, and learn another things, and it's really good have a conversation about that too, about the people, no, how people thinks.
Yes, well done, well done. Thank you. Thank you for joining us, all of you today. And so I will close the meeting. And I hope you, just to summarize, we want to contribute and bring some case studies. And that is what today I emphasize, that look for 1-2 cases, at least one from each one of us would make 20 cases, and that would be brilliant. So we want some case studies, and that has an opportunity of developing 3 to 4 papers together, because we will be doing a substantial contribution to this type of work. And so please spend only, I think if you spend one day or just half a day, you will be able to fill the questionnaire. And so I welcome you to do that. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.